For somebody like me in the space business, there's no such thing as a typical day. My job here is basically threefold in that I manage the mad scientists at the Rutherford Appleton Laboratory. I'm also a scientist myself, of course, so I actually do research in solar physics, and I also run space missions. We have instruments in space that I literally lead, which is a fantastic honour. Here at the laboratory we have the labs where you build equipment. We also have an operations facility where we run the space instruments for solar physics. John here is, well, actually he's looking at the sun as it is now as part of the planning for where we're going to make observations for the next 24 hours or so. People want to make observations. There are solar physicists worldwide who want to look at a particular thing on the sun and understand how it works. Is that just updated anyway? Because that's what we're looking at here actually is where the two STEREO spacecraft are, and you can see a plot with the Earth is the green blob, the sun is the yellow one in the middle. The two STEREO spacecraft are labelled A and B, and one's right round here and the other one's right round here, so they're the same distance away from the sun as the Earth. What we've got at the moment is a 360-degree view of the sun because we have the two STEREO spacecraft, and in the middle the image from the Solar Dynamics Observatory. So with those three, we've got the full sun. Nobody has ever seen any star completely, ever. This started February last year. We've had this complete view of a star, which means, actually it's shown up here, you can unravel the sun and see this complete map. Solar physics is something where we are world leaders, and a lot of the images you see of the sun these days, even with US-led instruments, come from instruments that actually have camera and detector systems that come from this building. So here you're actually designing your own operation for the next day, and you click the button and load the commands they're sent across to the States and up to the spacecraft, which is fantastic. And then of course you come in the next day and you're looking at images that nobody's seen before, that have come from your instruments or from your camera systems, and that's fantastic as well. It's a joy in a sense, it's a privilege. The sun's magnetic fields are betrayed, if you like, by the hot gases that are trapped in these loops, and you see this really complex looking place, which is really quite beautiful, to be honest, but really quite dramatic. I mean, the Earth is tiny on this frame here. The Earth would probably be much smaller than my fingernail, and there would be sunspots in here, but there are explosions here called solar flares, and there's a huge set of eruptions over here which are just crashing out into space, about 1 billion tons each. This is just a fantastic thing to look at. One of the facilities we have here is actually a ground station, because of course all the spacecraft need to get the data back to the ground. And this is the ground station equipment effectively. Some of it goes back to the Apollo days. The whole site here is actually a government laboratory. It's a place where you would have facilities that you wouldn't have at, say, every university or whatever. So we're talking about the big particle accelerators, big lasers. So in that sense, we're the nearest thing we've got to NASA. So this is the dish, or one of the dishes that we have. What we have here is a link to the missions you've just seen, because obviously we've built instruments, we're flying them, we're operating them, we're looking at the science, but you need to get the data to the ground. That's what this is. So it's a pretty exciting thing to actually have on site.